Hey guys!
Welcome back to our channel,
Plots with a Twist,
where we discuss books.
Amongst other things. And don't judge my hair. I experimented, I tried.
Souljah looks cute, y'all, in the comments, because she tripping.
I got scissor happy, but you know, we're gonna work with it. We're gonna work with
Flip it anyway.
So we are real late with our wrap up.
Yes, guys.
It's okay. Scheduling, you know, it happens, scheduling conflicts, but we're here. We're gonna give it to you either way. We could do another video, but no, we wanna get these books off of our mind and into your ears. So yeah, we're gonna do our January wrap up and our February TBR, because honestly, I haven't been reading my February book, so it's actually a good timing to even talk about what I'm gonna read. So let's get into it.
So Kristen, you go ahead and start with what you read, because I feel like you've
I did
read more books than me.
I know I did. Okay, let me see. I have to go back to my notes. Because I feel like I was reading one book forever, so I forgot the rest of the books I read.
That you were reading earlier.
Okay, so boom. So I think last time we did this wrap up, how long ago was that? I was saying I was in the middle of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. So I did finish that up in January. So boom, that's about this woman who was cursed in the 1600s, 1700s.
No, I'm talking about like I read.
I think 1700s. She was cursed. Basically, she didn't want to live her life like a normal woman of her time, where she got married, and she was set to be married off to some guy whose wife had recently died, and her prospects had diminished because she was 3 years past 20, and didn't want that life. Didn't want that life, so she ran away and prayed to the gods. One of her village mentors told her how to pray to the gods that answer in the daytime, but and never prayed to the gods at night. But she didn't realize the sun went down, prayed to the gods at night, and therefore was cursed to this life where everyone she met basically forgot her. So she was able to kind of adjust and adapt throughout the years up until 2014, where the main events of the book happen, where she gets to a point where she meets someone who, boom, can remember her. So it just goes through the kind of like her years learning her curse, the god of death, whoever cursed her, like the devil, he doesn't really have a name. Luke is the name in the book that she gave him, but just the years of her getting adjusted to her curse, learning the ins and outs, learning the loopholes, making a life for herself, and really finally coming one day where someone, the most important thing she's always wanted, someone can remember her, and just how that event came about. So I will say, I really enjoyed that book. I really want to read more of B.E. Schwab's writing. Excellent writer, excellent storytelling. I was just fully drawn into the story. I didn't want to press stop. And it has the aspect of romance, which I'm not really a romance person, but it was really cute. And I was just like taken aback by just this love story kind of unfolding before your eyes as I listened. So yeah, I really enjoyed that book, and I would highly recommend it. So that was, what is it? The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
I'm gonna read that.
Boom. Do. I think you'll like it.
Okay, so the book I read, one of the two books that I read this month, or last month, was The Mothers by Bennett, which Kristen read earlier. And as you guys know, we've talked about Vanishing Half a lot and how much we love that. So with The Mothers, just to give you guys a brief little synopsis, it's about this girl named Nadia. She grows up in this town in California, and her mom commits suicide. And that's in the beginning, so it's not a spoiler. But it just goes on to show how her life is affected by it after that, and she leaves her town to go away to school, and then has to come back to deal with some family stuff. And and through that, just her friendship with the girl that she had at the church, this boy that she used to talk to, it's just a whole bunch of things go on with her family and her friends in that town. And then the mothers are just a group of women at the church, the local church, that be gossiping basically about everybody. So they're kind of narrating the story throughout. It was a really good book. It was Brit Bennett's debut novel, so it was before The Man Should Have. I like Vanishing Half better, but this one was still really, really good. I still would recommend The Mothers because it was well written and the story was easy to follow and enjoyable. Like, I was into it very much so. So yeah, that's The Mothers.
I was just about to ask which one you like better.
Yeah, I like The Vanishing. I think The Vanishing had a more interesting story just because of the whole, you know, the twin thing and the town they were from. The Mothers was good too. It was more like, I don't even want to say coming of age, but just like, it was just different in...
It just followed these group of people surrounding their choices.
Yeah.
Versus, you know...
The other aspects of
life throwing different things at you, and you're forced to make, like, the differences between... I don't know. It's kind of... Both kind of focuses on, like, your choices.
Yeah. So they're kind of similar in that way, but it's a different story being told. So, that's good, though. I enjoyed it.
All right. So, the next book I finished... in the month of January was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So, I took notes. I said...
I'm like halfway through it, guys.
So, okay, I had to read what I wrote.
Oh my
so
God.
basically, so if you don't know, Leigh Bardugo is a fantasy writer, really notable young adult writer. So The Ninth House was her first kind of adult book. And so it's planned, I think it's going to be a series as well. But it's about a girl named Alex. I was about to say Alex North. Was that her name?
I can't remember.
Alex Galaxy. I know that was her name. Like, her real name was Galaxy. But basically, it was Alex Stern. Alex something. You... See, this is how long it took me to finish one of my books. I completely forgot about everything else. So yeah, it was about this girl named Alex, and she's kind of had a rough time growing up because she could see ghosts. So in her growing up and in her upbringing, everybody thought she was crazy, never really had an opportunity to really get the help she needed. So she turned to drugs, and she wakes up in the middle of a homicide scene, and basically when she's in the hospital, she gets offered the opportunity of a lifetime to attend Yale University to work with the Ninth House, or the House of Leigh, where they kind of not preside, but they kind of monitor and regulate the secret rituals of the ancient 8 secret societies at Yale University. So it goes into basically her kind of reckoning with her past and just her abilities, and really kind of realizing, like, hey, this is a real thing, and kind of just working through that. But she's also got this mentor who's helping her understand her abilities and the abilities of the secret societies, but he goes missing. So it's kind of, the books goes into their search or trying to get him back, as well as her uncovering this homicide that happened that she thinks is connected to the societies, and trying to bring justice to whoever killed this young woman. So I will say it did start off a bit slow.
It's very slow.
It was a lot of details coming at you, and it's not like, I feel like there's always a little lull, if I want to call, I don't know what to call it, in the beginning of fantasy books, as you kind of start to...
Because it's like building the world.
Right, because you have to let go of the reality of it, and as you're reading, you're like, I don't know what's going on, but you know you're going to understand eventually. But because this was set, like, it was kind of blurring the line between reality and fantasy, it was a lot of details coming at you at the same time, and it was like, okay, what? So once you got into it, it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of what I needed, what I wanted, especially when I've been wanting a more witchcraft type book. It was some magical elements in there that I was like, okay, this is what I've been needing. But I will say, I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed her. I've only read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I enjoyed that type of writing for her a lot better than I did the adult writing. It just seemed like it was just
adult.
Yeah, it just seemed like she was just trying to put in more language, maybe make the plot a little bit more complex. And I think she could have still been successful if she wasn't trying so hard. I don't know. It felt like she was trying a little too hard, but I actually did end up enjoying it. It just was a battle as you was reading along to get to the point where you're like, okay, I do like this story. So I'll say that. But I do plan, if she comes out with them, well, obviously she will. I do plan on reading the remainder of the series now that I know what's going on. But for a good portion, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, that's
what
where
is
I'm at
happening
with it right now. But it's still good. I haven't finished it. Okay, so the last book that I read for last month is actually this book right here. It's called Pieces Every Step. Oh, so white. By Thich, Nhat, Hanh. I think that's how you say his name. But so my homegirl Jeanine recommended this to me or whatever, and
you wish.
Right. This book is basically, it says the subtitle is The Path of Mindfulness in Everyday Life. So it's basically teaching you like walking meditation, like how to be mindful in everything that you do, like and make even the mundane situations or situations that can be kind of overwhelming and stuff into positive situations. Kind of like that whole thing, like happiness is a choice. You have to choose to kind of like see it's good, and it's one of those books that you could probably sit and read on one sitting too, because it's not super it's very easy to follow, and it's very like his words are really simple, so it's not like reading a religious book, or something like,
or overly complicated.
Yeah, because he's a Zen master. He's a world-renowned Zen master and a spiritual leader. I'm reading that off the back, but his words are really simple and easy for anybody to understand, so that's why I really enjoyed. And it's just like a good one of those books that just make you feel like, okay, like I can do this, like let me try to just be mindful in everything that I'm doing. So, and that's where I'm at in my life, so that's why I picked this book up, and it was good. Pieces Every Step. You guys should check it out. I really enjoyed it.
All right, well, good. I might read that. So the last book I finished in its entirety, I told you it was going to be a difficult reading month for me, is American Dirt by Jeanine Cummins. So that came out last year. Like I said, it was on my radar, but it wasn't something I was like itching to read. But
I've been seeing it lately now everywhere for whatever reason.
I have too. I don't know why. But basically it's about this woman, Lydia. Just finished it. What's her name? This woman, she basically, it opens with the massacre of her family. 16 members of her family are killed while her and her son hides in the bathroom, right?
Wow.
Heavy. So you're like, okay, whoa,
right, baby.
What's happening?
Heavy.
So basically she's her husband is a reporter, and he is gunned down, and her whole family is massacred and gunned down by the jefe of this cartel, which turns out has a close personal relationship with Lydia.
Who, the jefe?
Mm-hmm. So basically it goes into Lydia, is that her name? Going on a run with her son to become a migrant and trying to get to the United States to escape the cartel guy. And so it just goes through the trials and tribulation of her journey, just many things that migrant people face when they're trying to, reach and attain a better life in the United States. But throughout the story, it kind of goes back and forth between when she met him, the cartel man, and kind of how they had an instant connection, how they built, and what turn of events happened for them to get to a point where he's killing her entire family. So I will say that story was really intense. It took a lot for me to listen to it. It took a lot for me to get through it. It took me a really long time to get through it because I can only listen to it in doses. It was just really intense. I was just on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. She did have a great way of pulling you into the story, really making you scared for this woman and her child, and really all the people that they encounter along their journey. But I will also say on that, I would have expected to see a lot more violence, a lot more things happening to them. Not to say that their journey was easy, because I don't know that life, but
Right.
I know that those stories are horrific. And she was just witnessing a lot of it instead of her experiencing it herself, in the same way. So that's the only thing I will say. And then other than that, there's some controversy because the author doesn't have this kind of this experience for herself. I will say that probably was in the back of my head as I was reading, like, how you know? But I will say I still, it's a fictional book. And I still I've read other books where I know the author didn't have that experience and I could still connect to the story. Like, what was that Little Bee where he was writing about African refugee, and I still thought it was a great telling of that, but of course I have a limited kind of understanding of that life, so I know I can understand where people might have been offended or might not have connected to the story because that's not what really happens. But at the same time, I don't think I would have wanted to read anything more brutal if I was already on the edge of my seat from the details in the story. So I don't know. But I will say I did enjoy it for the most part. It was just a really intense story. And yeah, it took me a really long time to finish it. So, but I got through it. American Dirt. Other than that, hold on, I got one more. Because I don't know if I'm going to finish it. Normally I wait to do my like in progress. But I don't know if I'm going to finish this.
What?
I attempted Dune. Girl, I got through.
Yeah, you did say
I
that.
got through. So that was okay.
That wasn't even on my list.
Dune by Frank Herbert. So attempted that. So if you don't know, Dune is about to be a movie, which is why I wanted to go ahead and give it a listen. I don't know, that kind of motivates me to read certain books. I'm like, oh, it's about to come to the screen. Let me see what it's about. So I saw it was about to be a movie, checked it out, and had no idea what it was about at all. I knew it was a sci-fi book. Sci-fi series.
No.
And I listened to, it's a 21-hour audiobook. Listened to a good 12 hours. I still have no idea what's going on. And it was due back. And I said, okay. And when I tried to check it out, it was going to take a long time. So I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to finish it.
So what do you think it was about, kind of?
So, from what I could gather, it's about a young man. His dad is the Duke of this planet, and they are asked by the Emperor to move to another planet, the Sand Planet, right? The Sand Planet, to kind of take over and I don't know, source some sand spice or whatever. And but the people, another civilization was living there, or another group of people was living there first, so they're trying to test out and see who they can trust. But there's this plot against the Duke to kind of take him out, but by this other guy. I don't know. It felt like I was literally listening to a script of Star Wars. And so I looked it up, and I think that is literally where George Lucas got the inspiration for Star Wars. He said was Dune. He said Dune and probably some other books, but you could tell it's the catalyst for a lot of sci-fi books, a lot of sci-fi movies. You can really tell that in listening to it. I'm just not I thought I was okay with sci-fi, and it wasn't not interesting. It was just very dull, I will say. It was just very kind of like detail heavy. I'm going through the motions of listening. But basically, the main character, the boy, his mom is some kind of witch. And she's training him, but they test him to see if he's human, and there's a prophecy on him to see if he's going to be this person that can do something for the people. That's as far as I got. I won't say I enjoyed it, but I won't say I disliked it. I'll just say it was interesting. I attempted. It was something new for me. I don't know if I'll go down that road again, but I just wanted to mention it because I said I wasn't sure if I was going to get to it, and I got to it, and it wasted so much of my reading time that I wanted to at least say something about it. So that was Dune. We'll see. If I get it back, I might
try to finish it. Another 12 hours.
So that was it for January. So let's get into what we will be reading for February. I got my books, y'all. I got physical books. You got physical books?
No.
You jealous? I'm still gonna listen to them on audio, but I just got the physical books so I can take pictures. You gonna go first?
No.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
first.
Well,
I got 3 books.
Everything that I was gonna read is stuff that I've already mentioned here that I should have been reading. So you go first.
Okay. So the first one is This Is My America by Kim Johnson. So I actually had this on my reading list for December, I think. Mm-hmm. November or December, I can't remember. I had it was on, but they didn't have the audiobook at the time, and I had the physical book, and that's when I was really struggling reading my physical books. Still am struggling. So I couldn't get to it. I read like the first half of the first chapter, and it was just due back. So I was just like, instead of holding on to this, I'll give it another go. And eventually my library did get the audiobook, so I do have the audiobook. But like I said, I wanted to take a picture, so I got the physical book as well. Mm-hmm. But this is about a girl. No, I read this. I was trying to read it in October.
I feel like you had it
because it was supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
So it's about a girl's journey to try to prove her father's innocence. He's up for execution. He's currently serving time in jail or prison, and his execution date, he's on death row. Execution date is approaching, but she wants to do everything she can to get him released because he's innocent. But in the midst of all that, her brother gets accused of murder as well. So she's kind of going through everything with her family to try to save everyone. So, yeah, I don't know if I should listen to this just after listening to American Dirt not too long ago. But I'm going to try it because this is my only one heavy book, I think, this month. Mm-hmm. Well, this one might be a little bit heavy, but this is my only one heavy book. And it's young adult, so it shouldn't be too heavy. So, we'll see how this goes. So, this is My America.
Okay. So, a book that I plan on reading this month, which I started like a while ago, just like the first few pages, but couldn't finish. It's your girl, Tana French, Broken Harbor.
I need to get on that too.
So this is, I want to say this is the 4th installment of the
Dublin Murder Series.
Yeah, the Dublin Murder Series. And this one is about, I think this is with Mike Scorcher, and he's the cop from one of the cops. He was in the other series.
He was in Faithful Place.
Yeah.
He was like the uptight kind of one.
And this is basically following him and his partner, a boy, or wait, let me see.
Girl.
I don't know. But they're solving a crime, and that's all I need to know because that's why he's on the murder squad.
That's why you need to read Long Bright River because it gives you Tana French vibes where it's like they're solving a crime, but it's got like some other like melodrama, family related stuff.
Yeah.
Also being unpacked.
Yeah, because it's got something in here about his sister Jeanine and all types of stuff. So yeah, Tana French, Broken Harbor. I can't wait to read it. I already know it's gonna be good. So
yeah, that's still sitting on my shelf. I'm gonna read her stuff this month, this year.
Look,
I'm gonna get through
because we didn't read any Tana French last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna do her like I did Backman last year. I got through a good number of his books last year. All right, so the next book I plan to read is His Only Wife by Adzo, Medie. I hope I'm saying her name right. If not, I do apologize. But so I actually don't know what this is about. I think you do because you started it, didn't you? His Only Wife.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm.
What's it about?
I don't know.
Okay, well we don't know, but we'll find out this month.
I heard great. To get married and
she's left on the altar. You said something like that. So we heard great things about it. So ready to check this out. So get to it this month. It's themed Black authors.
Okay, so another book that I plan on reading this month, which look at this book, y'all. Who didn't do this? But I'm gonna start it. Is Midnight by Sister Souljah. So y'all know Coldest Winter Ever. The author
I was supposed to read that.
Midnight is actually one of the characters in Coldest Winter Ever. He's I think like one of the drug captains or whatever.
I didn't read it. I was supposed to. Oh my god. They didn't have it on audiobook.
You should have read that 10 years ago when everybody else was
That's
reading
my
it.
excuse. They didn't have it on audiobook.
But yeah, so Midnight is basically it goes through his story. Basically, he's from Africa, and his parents were like rich in Africa, I believe, and they had like a whole empire, but he ends up having to come to America and lives in the projects in Brooklyn. That's how he gets involved with Ricky, the guy from Coldest Winter Ever. So yeah, I'm interested. It's been a long time since I read a gangster love story. That's what it says. So I'm interested, and I can't wait to read this.
I can't ever read a gangster love story.
You listen out. You need to read some. You never read like Shoot to the Game or Be More Careful? We gonna get her
I
right,
was a
y'all. For
sheltered
Black History
child.
Month, we gonna get her right. I think I have you to the game. You should read that though. So yeah, that's Midnight by Sister Souljah.
It be on sale on the
Kids.
Kindle
Get
app,
that.
on the Kindle store. It be on
I
sale.
have it.
It's on. I think it's free on Audible.
Girl, it's a good book. It really is.
Okay. So the last book out, well, maybe last, but this is the last book I'll mention, is going to be Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas.
You bought that?
Yes.
I do remember you.
So, I actually do not know 100% what it's about. But I've read her first two books, so The Hate You Give and On the Come Up. So when I saw she had another book coming out, I said, yes, I'll buy it, add it to the collection because I bought those. So, this focuses, so all of them operate in the same little universe, and this focuses on one of the drug kings' son.
That might be a love story.
And he ends up, it might be, because he ends up becoming a father at 17 or something like that. Because he's on his way up and out, but then he got to hold it down and take care of his baby. So,
is that what it's saying there?
No, it says suddenly he has a baby who depends on him for everything. So, yeah, he's, so this is the first two books she had a female lead. So this her, I guess, first male lead. Yeah, we'll see what it's about. It always focuses on kind of like that. I don't know what you want to call it, but just like those tough up and coming, like she really writes tough circumstances really well, where you're interested, but it's not super heavy, but it's still educational. So I'm excited to see what this is about, and I like the cover.
Yeah,
next part where it comes. So that's it. Oh, you got another one?
So the last book I'm gonna read, this is gonna be short because Kristen already read it and we've talked about it much. Is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman.
Oh,
I got it back on my Libby app so I can listen to
Finally.
it. Yeah, so it took a while for it to come back. So yeah, I'm gonna get that one
everybody's
out the way.
reading it.
And yes,
it's on everybody's little list of must read from 2020.
And if I don't finish it by the time it's due back, I might just go buy it because at this point it's
I want to buy it
for like $14, I think, which ain't bad, but it's still more than I would like to spend. So yeah, that's Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, and that is it. I'm gonna try to get through these books, y'all, between now and our next wrap up. So
you only got a little bit of time since we're
late. Like literally, and February is a short month. So.
Right. All right. So let us know what you guys are reading for the month, and let us know if you have any thoughts on the books we've mentioned here today. Like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll be back for you next time. Bye.